What's up, everybody? This is Yair, and today we're going to learn how to draw Goku, Super Saiyan Blue. Okay, in this tutorial, I'm gonna teach you how to draw Goku as Super Saiyan Blue, but from Dragon Ball Heroes. Now, in Dragon Ball Heroes, he wears a slightly different gi. For example, instead of his usual kanji, he's got the Capsule Corp logo. Now I'm gonna teach you how to draw it in the old 19 style around the Buu Saga. So if you check the description box, you can see all the materials I'm going to use for this tutorial, along with Amazon product links. As you can see, I already drew a perfect square. Each side is 4 centimeters, but you can draw it in any size you want to. Just make sure to use a suitable paper size. Okay, so this is gonna be a frontal pose. I'm gonna start by drawing the wrinkles between the eyes. Then I'm gonna pull a curve to create the eyebrow. And as you can see, it gets thicker towards the edge. To create the eye, I'm gonna use 3 lines. And make sure to draw the bottom line with a curve. Now I'm gonna add some lines right next to the eyebrow. And I'll place the pupil at the center but slightly to the left. We'll draw a curve above the eyebrow and the cheek marks. Awesome, so I'm gonna do the same process for the left side, and if you want you can use a ruler just to keep the right proportions. And of course, once you practice a lot, you wouldn't need the ruler as much. Okay, so next I'm gonna draw the nose, and I'm gonna do that by drawing 5 lines, and this will be our shaded area. Next I'm gonna draw the mouth really close to the nose with a very tiny gap. I'm gonna indicate his bottom lip, and then we can move on to draw the shape of his face. Next, I'm gonna draw the shape of the ear, and once I got the shape, I can add all the details. Again, we'll do the same for the left side, and like I mentioned before, if you want, you can use a ruler to keep the right proportions. However, this is the reason we are using a square, because we just can see with our eyes that the ear sits on the top rectangle. Awesome, so once we are done with that, we can draw the hair. But first, I'm gonna indicate his neck just by drawing 2 curves. Now I'm gonna indicate his hairline, and we'll start by drawing the spikes from the front. So we'll draw 2 spikes on the right side. Then 2 more on the left side. And this spike will point up. As you can see in Super Saiyan Blue, it's got 1 spike that goes up. And then draw the 3rd one right there. And I think I drew it a bit too high, so I'm just gonna erase it and redraw it. Awesome. Next, I'm gonna draw 2 spikes on each side. As you can see, I'm doing it simply by drawing 3 lines. Then I'll draw 1 more spike on each side. I'm doing it simply to maintain the right proportions. However, if you want, you can use a guideline. That way you can keep the right proportions as well. So now just add the rest of the spikes. then we are going to add lots of random lines from side to side. Make sure to draw them with the direction of the shape. Awesome, so once we are done with the hair, we can move to the torso. So first I'm gonna indicate his neck muscles and the trachea. I'll draw the traps. Now I'm gonna mark the center of his body and I'll draw the color of his shirt. Next, I'm gonna draw the chest muscles and the shirt underneath. Now we can draw the sleeves and add all the creases. Don't forget to add his kanji, that is the Capsule Corp logo, just by drawing two C's in the middle. Now later in the video I noticed that I drew it a bit too wide, meaning the shoulder frame is a bit too wide, so I had to erase it and make it a bit more narrow. As you can see, I erased it and made it a bit more narrow. And then I can draw the shoulder, the bicep and the tricep. Awesome, so now that we are done with the sketching part, we can move to the inking process. So I'm going to use a 0.1 black pen for this entire drawing, except for the face. For the face I'm going to use a 0.05, that's a slightly thinner line, and that way I can get the details much more accurately. Now for the inking process, like I always tell you, you want to rotate the page so you can have as much comfort as you can, because you want to use your natural hand movement. Okay, you don't want to force your movement. Make sure to do it freely, take your time, don't listen to any metal music in the background. And once we are done with the inking, we can start the coloring process. But first, we're going to take the notorious charcoal eraser and we're going to clean this drawing very well. Make sure to get rid of any lead because you don't want the Copics to smear all over your drawing, and you also want to use the exquisite eraser stick for those stubborn, annoying areas right next to the black lines. And once it's clean, we're going to use the Copic Markers. So the Copic Markers are alcohol-based markers, which means they can blend very well. If you'll check your top left of the screen, you can see the exact number of Copic I'll be using. We are going to start by coloring his shirt with the orange tones. I'm going to use these 3 different tones. We'll start with the brightest one, and with fast brush strokes with the direction of the shape, I'm gonna fill this entire area. As you can see, I'm not coloring completely solid. I actually like the effect of the brush strokes. Now we are going to use the mid-tone and we are going to add some shade. And then we are going to use the darkest tone for the darkest areas. Okay, so I'm going to do the same process for the right side. And make sure not to color the kanji with the orange tone, just like I did right now! So I don't know if you guys know it, but usually when I color, I listen to lots of lectures in YouTube. And that particular lecture was really interesting that I didn't notice I colored the kanji with the orange tone. But luckily for me, I know how to deal with this situation. So I just took the colorless blender and I soaked all the ink out of the symbol. And then I took the white color pencil and just color all the area.
"2,000 years later."
And now it's clean and smooth, and we can proceed. So we'll do the same process just like we did before. I'm gonna add the mid-tone. We'll do some blending with the brightest tone. And then add the darkest tone just to get a nice gradient. Awesome, so now we can color the shirt underneath. We're going to use 3 different tones of blue for that. As usual, I'm going to start with the brightest tone. Then I'm gonna take the mid-tone and add the shaded areas. And finally the darkest tone, and of course I'm gonna do some blending. And for the left side, I'm only going to use the mid-tone and the darkest tone because that area will get much less light. And we'll do the same process for the middle. As you can see, I'm rotating the page just to have more comfort. Awesome, so once we are done with that, we can start use the skin tones. So I'm going to start with the mid-tone, and then I'll use the darkest tone. Next I'm gonna use the brightest tone, and as you can see I'm leaving some blank areas just to create some nice highlights. Then I'm gonna use the mid-tone to mark all the shaded areas. And then we use the darkest tone YR02. We can do some blending with the mid-tone, and if you want to add more saturation to make the darkest tone pop out more, just add more layers. Awesome, so we'll do the same for his left arm. And now we can focus on the face. So just like I said before, I'm gonna leave some blank areas, and I'm gonna leave them on the areas that sticks out more. For example, his cheeks, the bumps above the eyes, and his bottom lip as well. Then we use the mid-tone. Of course, the darkest tone. Now if you want, you can also use the colorless blender to blend the brightest tone with the blank area, just to soften those edges. Awesome, so once we are done with that, we can color the hair and his eyes. For the hair I'm gonna use 3 tones as well. We'll start with the eyebrows, and I'll use the mid-tone for that. Then for the eyes I'm gonna use a brighter tone, and gradually we are going to add a darker tone to create a nice gradient. And we're going to blend the colors along the way. Next, I'm gonna demonstrate how to color one spike of hair, and then I'll do the same for the rest of the spikes. So we'll start with the brightest tone, and just like before, I'm gonna leave some blank areas, again to create a nice highlight. Now I'm gonna use the mid-tone to create a nice shade. Then I'll use the darkest tone to create a nice contrast. And you can also blend the mid-tone with the brightest tone by using the brightest tone. Okay, so I'm going to do the same process for the rest of the spikes. Again, I'm starting with the brightest tone, leaving a nice blank area. Then I'll use the mid-tone to add some nice shade and create more contrast. After that, I'm gonna use the darkest tone, and with a minimum use I'm gonna add some more contrast. And finally I'm gonna take the brightest tone and I'll do some blending. one more layer here. And we are done, everybody. So this is how you draw Goku Super Saiyan Blue from Dragon Ball Heroes. I must tell you, I'm really happy with the final results. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful for you. Don't forget to let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and smash that like button to support my channel. Also, you can share the video with your drawing buddies. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every weekend, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future videos. That's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep being awesome, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.